José Muñoz has a reason to smile these days at Hyundai. U.S. sales set a February record behind higher retail and fleet demand. Genesis did too, by the way. Hyundai set total sales records in February for Tucson, Tucson plug-in hybrid EV, Tucson HEV, Palisade, and Kona. On top of that, he has a new Georgia plant in the works, is expanding the EV fleet, and the product pipeline is expanding. He loves New York. The last 2 years, he's needed a truck to take home his trophies from his World Car of the Year victories and up for more nominations this year. He was on the floor of the New York Stock Exchange this morning on CNBC, but he's here now. Please welcome José Muñoz. Jason, how are you?
Good to see you.
Good to see you. You didn't ring the bell, right, at the New York Stock Exchange?
Not yet, not yet.
Not yet, okay, all right.
We're public in Korea.
That's right. It'd be breaking news there, right? You had a big day yesterday. Your Monday in New York was eventful. What happened down in Soho at Genesis House?
Well, that was great. So we have, as you know, our Genesis House, which is where we try to show our Genesis core values. So we are distinctly Korean, and then we have their space, which shows our products, our hospitality, which we call the Sonnim. But yesterday was very special because we announced actually 5 new products, which is unbelievable. So a range of so-called Magma, which is going to be the high-performance top trim of the Genesis brand, and also the so-called Neo Loon, which is a concept which was really amazing, with coach doors, which is like a house on wheels.
Yeah, exactly. Large vehicle too.
Very large.
And an incredibly fancy sports car that you showed as well.
Exactly.
All of them in an orange color. And I know that your lead design executives talk about the fact that you don't do concepts and then they float away and you don't see them again. They do end up on the road.
You tend to see them in reality, yes.
Yeah.
So we had the so-called X Berlinetta, which is very nice, the GV80 Coupe, and then also we had the GV60, and then the G80. It was really amazing. They are in the show, so you can see them tomorrow.
You were just showing me on your phone. They're on the show floor now. All right.
They're looking good.
Exactly. 5 years ago, you and I sat in a very secluded part of this show. Nobody knew that you were sitting up in the conference room. I knew that you were doing that. And you and I talked about you taking this job for the first time. So how have the 5 years gone?
Just like that, super fast. But I couldn't be happier. I think that was a good moment. I was really happy at the time, and I was so pleased to be in New York, which has a lot of meaning for me, right? One of my daughters lived here for many years, so I've been coming here very regularly. And then coming back in New York, and then coming every year is very special to me. So it's been super fast. We've done a lot of things, and the best is yet to come.
You've made the decision that while some have backed away from auto shows, you're all in on the accelerator on auto shows. I see you in LA, I see you in New York, I see you at various shows regionally. Mm-hmm. Why are auto shows so important to you?
Well, because we like cars. And then we like people who like cars. And then guess what? People like coming to the shows and then seeing the cars, experiencing the cars, getting pamphlets, opening the doors, and then doing test drives. And actually, we came up with the innovation a couple of years ago to do test drives inside the show. We'll do it again this year, particularly with electric vehicles. I think it's such an easy thing to do, right? So, and then the more we do it, the better things are going for the company. So I think it's a factor that contributes, and we're very happy to be part of it. And I guess the organizers are happy too.
Why have other companies walked away from auto shows?
Well, I cannot talk for others, right? But I can tell you that for us, it's really, really nice. We love it. Also, we learn a lot. We have, the spirit of our company to challenge ourselves, to challenge others. The designers that we have, I think they're the best in the world. And then, you like to test the reaction by the people. And then there is no better place than a good auto show. So we will continue to do it.
Yeah, a mutual friend of ours once told me, where else can you get somebody to pay a certain amount of money to have you come in and look at the product that you're trying to sell, which I thought was pretty...
It's called reverse advertising.
Right, exactly. Give us a little bit of a business update. I mentioned in the opening that February was a record for you, actually for Genesis and Hyundai. March may be in the same direction as well.
Yeah.
Give me an update on how you see the market and how you see how Hyundai Genesis are doing.
Well, the market is a little bit tougher than it was the last couple of years. Since the interest rates grew up, we've seen a significant deceleration of a lot of the trends that we saw before, but still there is pent-up demand. The market is still growing, and then the consumer is looking for good products, good design, good features, and competitive prices. So I think, as usual, the winners and the losers. And then there are good opportunities that we try to grasp in the market. For us in particular, we continue to see growth on EVs. So 2023 was our best EV sales years with double sales of EVs. And then this year we have started also in a good pace. I think we did in February 38% growth on EVs, which is double what the market was growing, and then 54% if we consider also plug-in hybrids. So we continue to see the opportunity to take advantage of the electrification. But I've also mentioned, Jason, that we need to be flexible, and then we need to understand the interests of the public, and that's why you will see that tomorrow we're going to launch the refresh Tucson with ICE, with hybrid, and plug-in hybrid, so the customers can choose what is best for them in this moment in their lives, right? So we are cautiously optimistic.
You and I have known each other for a long time, so we can have an honest conversation. It does feel as if we were kind of like, if the pendulum was over here a couple of years ago, now it's certainly sliding back this way, right? So what do you make of that? I mean, obviously the consumer leads the way.
Well, the market situation changes very much depending on many factors, right? And then it depends also on, especially on the interest rates. Right. Basically, we've seen that. So the American consumer likes financing the vehicles, and they like leasing, and then there is no doubt that when you have 3, 4, 5 points increase, then this impacts the monthly payment. The people live on their budgets, and they need to respect their decisions. But for the most part, what happens is that they maybe get a little bit lower trim instead of the top trim that we have seen the last few years. But also I think sometimes we make it too extreme. So when the market is very positive, we are overly optimistic. When the market is not so top, we are overly pessimistic. As I said, we are cautiously optimistic. We see still EVs growing much faster than the ICE market, without a doubt. But of course, we see the market growing in certain areas of the country. You look today at the price of gas as an example, and then California is 45% more expensive than New York. So for a Californian, buying an EV is a good deal. They make a lot of savings on a monthly basis. Maybe for a New Yorker, not as much, right? So, and then we see this in the sales. Also, the applications are different. So you need to always, in our business, try to make the most out of the demand, and also try to be different and try to bring to the market the best offers, etc. As I was saying, we double down on EVs. We are about to start producing in a new plant that we're building in Savannah, Georgia, which is $12.6 billion of investment, about 40,000 new jobs between direct and indirect for 300,000 capacities. A major investment, including also the battery plant, joint venture with LG Energy Solutions and SK On. So we're quite confident, but we're also prepared for any type of reaction the market could have, but mainly EV.
So let's assume that the interest rate environment improves, which of course the Fed has signaled recently, and let's assume that solid state batteries or some other form of battery density improves range. let's assume, thirdly, that infrastructure, that there's some entrepreneurial spirit that makes infrastructure more reliable and feasible. When do you start to tip back that you can really use that Georgia factory to its full capacity?
I think all the factors are already happening. So as you mentioned, we are expecting the second half of the year to see interest rates going down in alignment with the election. On the other hand, for example, we have announced that starting Q4 this year, our electric vehicles are going to be equipped with the NACS system, which is the Tesla chargers, while we will offer as well the possibility for those vehicles to be charged in CCS. But also, as of Q1 next year, our existing vehicles with the CCS system are going to have adapters to be able to charge with the Tesla infrastructure, which is about 12,000. But more importantly, we've created a company together with 6 other OEMs called Iona, which is building 30,000 ultra-fast charging stations in the country starting this year. Well, if you add up, I think together with the improvement in technology, the so-called range anxiety is going to slightly disappear. Still, what we see is that some consumers have maybe an EV for a daily commute, things that they control, that they have very well mastered when they need to charge, et cetera, and then when they need to make a long trip, they utilize an ICE vehicle or a hybrid vehicle. But there's more and more confidence on EV without a doubt.
You mentioned just a moment ago about affordability or about pricing, I guess. Do we have an affordability problem right now?
I think so. In terms of EVs, when you look at the distribution, first of all, the EV cars are more expensive than the ICE cars, right? So you pay a premium that in our case goes between $5,000 to $8,000 between the entry ICE version and the entry EV version. That's a big difference, right? So the moment the EV cost will be a little bit lower, I think we're going to see an increase in sales, which is naturally going to happen. But for the time being, the mix is being small, so about 7% of total sales in the nation are EVs. So it is very simple rule that you want to amortize the fixed cost, you need to have more volume. So that's one of the dynamics that we are going to see. Plus, the technology is evolving and you get lower cost in a natural way. So I think that's what everybody calls affordability. So far, maybe there is a difference of about 30% in the cost of EV car versus a non-EV car, and maybe even more depending on the cases, right? So I think that's a factor. But also we shouldn't forget that in terms of cost of ownership, an EV car is cheaper to maintain. Mechanically, it's cheaper to maintain, and then the price of gas, especially in high gas prices, areas like California, it is a key factor.
Your responsibilities are global, and you have a window into many other markets that we don't see on a regular basis. And I brought this question up with Elena Ford earlier, but the presence of Chinese in North America, certainly first of all in Europe, and then of course manufacturing facilities in Mexico as a door opener to the United States. There are some who say that affordability, that will be the gap that the Chinese will fill. What's your view?
Well, definitely, as you said, we look at the market beyond the United States, obviously, right? And the first thing you see is that there are markets where the mix of EVs is now about 20%, and we are about 7%. So I think over time, we're going to see that mix change also in the United States. We also see how, particularly in the European markets, the Chinese have entered into this territory. And then for us, I think we see this as an opportunity to improve. Right? Every time you see competitors who bring good technology, good design, and affordable prices, this is a motivation to do a better job, not to abandon, but to see how they do. Is there anything we can learn from them? We are not particularly scared. We have the size. Now we are the third largest global OEM after Toyota and Volkswagen as a group. And then we have economies of scale that allows us to compete with them. But in the short term, it's always a challenge. You made a point about Mexico. We've seen them investing in Mexico. Well, that's also, fine in the sense that we are also in the Mexican market. We have a plan, one of our sister brand Kia, and as Hyundai, we continue to grow in Mexico. But we are coming from a much lower level. So we need to compete. This is things have happened in the past when the Japanese came into the market and when the Koreans came into the market.
Right.
Now the Chinese are coming, so we need to compete.
Right. Let's talk about some dealer issues. And we'll just start off with the one that a few months ago obviously made a number of headlines, but the Amazon project, the Amazon pilot, there were many dealers kind of scratching their heads saying, what does this mean for me? So talk about the pilot and I guess, what does it mean for them?
Okay, so well, I'll talk for the Hyundai dealers, so obviously I cannot talk for the others. Well, first of all, the Amazon is a strategic partnership for us. We announced several pillars of this partnership. So one of them is the AWS, the cloud system. So we try to improve the way we operate as an OEM by introducing cloud services across the board in all our operations. That was very important. Second was how to bring particularly to the American consumer, the best available technology that the consumers like Alexa, right? So how do you bring the best functionality to your consumers? So we made a deal with Amazon so that our cars, starting 2025, are going to bring Alexa. And this is great. You can do the same thing you do at home with Alexa, but in your car and also from the car for your house. Isn't it great? So that's fantastic. We are working also on other pillars that we have not announced yet, but then the very interesting thing is that the so-called online sales has been the pillar that has brought more attention to the market. What is this? So this is very simple. So it is the possibility to offer to the Hyundai dealers the possibility to get their customers to experience the online shopping experience of Amazon, which is arguably the best in the world, to sell their cars. So the dealers are the ones selling their cars. It's a volunteer program. They can opt in, they can opt out as they want. And then we are working with NADA. So I saw Mike Stanton just here before. And then we've partnered with them because they told us, and we agree that this is of interest not only for Hyundai dealers, but also for the entire distribution network. And I've been very vocal, even in this forum, about the fact that we, as Hyundai, believe in a distribution system through dealers. And then in countries like Europe, where the block exemption regulation allows you to decide if you want to have dealers or not, we're one of the brands who opted to continue to have dealers. Right. And actually, we're bringing a lot of dealers from some franchises who decided not to have those. So I think if there was a brand that could be the first one in doing online sales through Amazon, which was going to happen no matter what, with Hyundai or without Hyundai, with some other brands. So if there was a brand that could lead this project in the benefit of the dealers, that was Hyundai, because we're doing it together with the dealers, with NADA, with our own dealers. In fact, we created a special kind of a subgroup.
Roundtable. Yeah,
absolutely, right. Where we have involved our own dealers, and then they've come up with a lot of very interesting insights, which have helped us ensure the product is going to be successful. We are right now in a pilot phase. We're still planning to launch the online selling phase in the second half of this year. And then we are sure that once this is mastered, other brands will want to join, so which is probably good for the industry and good for the other brands, is you bring in more shoppers to the dealers. Let me just give you one number. So I was amazed when I look at our online search. and how many people hit our website. After the marketing, people have done a great job. So, you know, we have probably the best marketeers in the industry, right? And they're so proud to tell us, hey, we bring 8 million shoppers every month. Congratulations. Well, you know how many Amazon brings every month? 250 million. Well, there is a slight difference, right? And those customers are potential customers for your brand.
Yeah, Angela's here. She'll be happy to hear that you called her a great marketer. So,
yeah. But still 8 million versus 250, so more work to do.
what are you learning in the pilot that maybe surprised you?
Well, we're learning a lot of things. So we're learning that definitely the automotive industry is very different to all other industries. The products are more complex. The availability is different by dealer. Unlike other products that Amazon sells in this pilot and in normal business, the dealers decides basically the units they want to put in the system, the prices, the incentives, the version, so it's all up to the dealer. So, which is much more complicated. You need to master that, and therefore you need to be able to work with each individual dealer. So no matter how well organized you are, a new dealer may bring new ideas, new things that you want to do. So you're learning that you need to work in a collaborative basis. You cannot work by yourself, either as an OEM or Amazon or the dealers. So we're very proud that we're playing this role of coordination, and then we're learning that we need to be able to offer everything the customer wants. Like, for example, lease, like, for example, trade-ins, like, you know, offer all the different options of the product, the different prices and incentives each individual dealer want to give. You as a dealer may choose that this and this car, you don't want to put it in the system, but these other cars you want to. You may say after 2 months, you know what, I don't like it. You want to opt out, okay, you go out. So we're learning that you need to be very flexible, respecting each other, but that this is an innovation. Listen to this. So in a normal transaction, the customers are taking about 3 hours to get their car delivered through the entire process.
Yeah.
The first pilots that we've done with about 20 dealers so far, the transaction times are coming down from 3 hours down to 15 minutes. So the customer feedback is unbelievable. They're so happy because these are customers who are currently Amazon employees who have been normal dealer customers, right? And I say, you know, this is so efficient, so they love it.
When do you move into the next phase of that pilot? How long do you stay in pilot mode?
Well, until we will master everything. So we need to do it. So this is not about, you know, time-critical events, because, you know, we know that everybody's going to get into the platform sooner or later. We just want to do it right. When we launch, we want this to be right. But as said earlier, we are aiming at the second half of this year to be selling online.
Dealer, I know you talked to a lot of dealers. You probably talked to some who are here already today. Yeah. Dealer performance, dealer facility upgrades, those are hot button issues. Where are you on those?
We are very pleased. You know, we launched some years ago the so-called Accelerate program and the Keystone program for Genesis. And I know this is a pain in the ass for every dealer to have to really invest and the attention to detail. And I know that nobody's perfect.
That's even a quote, pain in the ass.
Yeah,
right.
Please don't publish. But it was so much needed. It was so much needed, and we can see so much benefit for those dealers who have decided to make the decision to invest. We've seen the sales going up, the grosses going up, and more importantly, the customer satisfaction. And we've said all along the process that we are flexible. We want to help because we have put together this program, which has cost the company about $1 billion. And we want this to be motivating the dealers, not a penalty. And then I think about 80% of the dealer network has opted to use it. And actually, through the process, a lot of dealers who didn't want to do it at the beginning, they join. And we've tried also to support the best that we possibly can. The same happened with Genesis. The difference is even bigger because Genesis was sold all shop-in-shop in Hyundai dealers. So we have opened a few ones so far, and I think we have a plan to open about 10 to 11 more this year. I could share videos. I mean, the feedback is really unbelievable. Everybody agrees the Genesis products we're bringing to the market is really very, very, very good. Superior, great quality, safety, design is second to none, and now we're bringing this high-performing brand, which has been a request by the dealers, so-called Magma. And then, you know, in those facilities, the representation of the brand and the customer satisfaction is superior. So I convey the message again that we'll try to be flexible, but obviously we're creating a system that favors those who want to represent the brand the proper way.
José Muñoz, congratulations on 5 years. Thank you for being here today.
Thank you, Jason. Real pleasure.
Thank you. Thank you.